Alright, so in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to create a Zoom clone using WebRTC and Node.js. You can see in the example that there's two cameras and you can see them side by side. So let's just get straight into it. So in the source folder, let's just create a new file, or actually a new folder called client, and then another folder called server. So inside this client folder, let's open it up in the terminal. So we can go cd client and we go npm init vite. So then we could just do dot for the project name, and we could also select vanilla. And then we're going to add vanilla TypeScript. So then once we're done, we could just do npm install socket.io dash client so that we can actually interact with socket.io that we're going to initialize on the server. So then just click enter to install all the dependencies. So now once it's done installing, we could run npm run dev, and then let's start a new terminal and let's open up the server file. The server folder. Then let's run npm init -y to initialize the scaffold for the Node.js project. And then we're just gonna run a command called touch index.js so we can actually create an index.js file. And then we're just gonna install the dependencies by running npm install socket.io. Close these terminals, and we're not gonna run npm run dev on the server file yet because we actually have to finish writing the code so that we can actually run the code in the server. So now let's open up the index.js file inside the server folder. So at first we're going to import the server class from socket.io, and then we're going to initialize a new server called io, and then we're going to allow a cross origin so that we can actually allow our website to actually send requests to the socket.io folder. So now we're going to listen for requests, and then once we get a request, we'll listen for some events on this socket. So once we actually have a socket connected, we'll check for the join room connection or the join room event so that we can actually join the room. So you can see that in socket.io, we can invite sockets into rooms that they actually pertain to. And these different rooms we will be using for the actual Zoom clone, because different rooms have different users, and these different rooms, because they have different users, can send data between these users using socket.io. So now, once a user has connected, so yeah, you can see that once we're doing join room, we're joining the room, and we're also broadcasting a user connected event so that everybody knows in this room that a user has connected. And this is simply just running for everyone else inside this room that's not the user. So then we're also gonna, once we join the room, we're gonna listen to a call offer event right here. And then we're also gonna do a broadcast if we get a call offer. So we're just gonna resend the data back to the other people inside the room. And then we're gonna do a call answer, which we're basically gonna do the same thing, but right here you can see that I'm doing this line, but that was just really for debugging, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the code. And now we're going to do new ICE candidate, and we're going to do the same thing, just transmit it back into the rest of the people inside this room. And then once the user has disconnected, we're just going to emit user disconnected right here. And you can see that once we're done with all the events, we're just going to listen on port 300. On port 3000. So that's really it. And now we can close this file, open up the terminal, and inside the server folder, let's run npm, or actually node dot. So now, once it's good, you can close this, and let's open up the client folder. So at first, let's create a file, or actually let's delete all these files right here. So let's delete every single file that is in the main.ts and also the venv.d.ts file. So these two files should be the only thing that you have in your source folder. Let's go over here. Let's make a socket.ts file. Let's open it up. So the first thing we're going to do is import IO from the client, and then we're going to create a socket as a connection to the local host. So now we can actually save this file, and we can close it, and let's create another file called WebRTC.ts. So at first we're going to create a servers object, and we're going to have some ICE servers connected to it so that we could actually have connection between the users. And these stun servers you could read further. I'm going to have some link in the descriptions for some actual documentation. And here we're going to export a peer connection using this data. So now we can actually save this file, and then let's create a new file in here called main. Let's just open up the main.ts file, and let's just remove everything. So then the first thing we're going to do is import everything we need. So we're going to import socket and also PC from the files we created previously. And then we're also going to create a remote stream object, which is going to be by default a null. And this remote stream is just going to be a reference to a media stream that just collects the data from the user's camera. So then we're going to create a call ID and also a user ID right here. And you can see that the call ID can be null and the user ID just is a string. And we're going to say that if the call ID is null, so if the call ID is not included inside the URL, so what we're going to do is say that the call ID is something, and we're also going to push state. So we're just going to push to an ID room, to a room where the ID is actually valid. So just to see this out, just to see this play out, we're going to open up the web server right here, like this. So you can see that if you go to the link, you can see that we're automatically relocated to a place with an ID. So now we can close the terminal. And then the next thing we're going to do is create some constants. One of them is going to be a webcam video, and the other one is going to be remote video. And these two pertain to different elements that we're going to create in a while. So then we're going to say if the webcam video is not null, we're going to say that the webcam video is muted because we don't actually want to listen to our own audio. So then we're going to get the media for our device. So we're going to get access to our video and our audio using the get user media function that we have on the window. So then we're going to await this. And then once we have awaited this, we're going to set the remote stream to this media stream that's just empty. And we're just going to say that the local stream.get tracks. So we're going to loop over the tracks that we have on the local stream. So right here, we have the local stream right here. And this includes the audio and also the video that we get back. So what we're going to do is just say that we're going to have audio and video that we're going to have in our webcam. So then we're going to say on track. So we're going to listen to so we're going to listen to this every time we get a track added to us. We're going to add it, and we're going to also console log the event. So what we're basically doing is waiting. So basically what we're doing is waiting for a different peer to connect to us and send us the audio and video so that we can actually add it to our remote stream. So then we're going to say if the webcam video and the remote video are not null, we're going to set their object, their source object to this. And then we're going to just emit that we're going to join room, and we're going to contact the socket saying that we want to join the room actually. So we're just going to provide the caller ID and also the user ID. So then we're going to wait for the event that the user is connected. So once the user is connected, we're going to create an offer and actually send them some of the data that we have. So we're going to actually send the call offer to them. So then we're going to say, so once we are the user that's getting an offer, we're going to say that we want to actually get the answer. We actually want to create and answer this call offer so that we can actually get some of the data. And then once we have answered this, we're going to send back a call answer event so that the user that has sent the offer can react to it. So then once we are the user that's reacting to it, all we're going to do is just set the remote description right here. So this basically, what this basically does is receives the data from the user that we have. So we're getting the data we're getting the information from the data from the other user, like their camera and audio, and we're displaying it inside our PC, which, if you remember, we're actually listening to the track function. So then we're just going to say user disconnected. So every time a user is disconnected, what we're going to do is just close the remote stream. So then we're going to listen to a new ICE candidate. And this is basically just another event that we have saying that we want to add ICE candidate. What we're basically doing is just making sure that everything works well inside of our project. So then we're actually going to send new ICE candidate to our socket every time our PC or connection to a WebRTC is actually refreshed and actually has an ICE candidate. We're going to emit it, and we're actually going to get it right here. So you can see that there's a clear communication between user to user using socket.io. So now you can save this, and we can actually close this file. And now we can open up the index.html. And what we could do is just in the app folder, in the app div, we can actually expand this right here. So then the first thing we're going to do is just create a header. So that all we're going to do is just a simple header. And then we're going to create a section that contains both videos of us, our webcam, and of the actual user that is going to send the video. So then the first one is going to be you, obviously. This one is going to be muted and is going to be your webcam. And the other one is going to be the other person that tunes into your video call that you shared the link to. So now we can save this file. And now we can actually open up the server. So now let's click allow. And then copy this link over here, paste it over to here. And you see, it should work. And you can see that the audio is echoing a little bit because both calls are receiving the audio, but it works. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video served you value. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys want to see any extra videos. Let me know if you have any ideas, any requests. I'll surely get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys. I hope to see you in the next one.